Welcome back to Stacy So-and-So and day 5 of Vlogmas. I was feeling a little nostalgic today. I got up and got dressed and I put my sweater on. I wanted something to, it's one of those open drapey sweaters, and I wanted something to kind of help hold it closed. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to pull out my Christmas pins. And I pulled this one out, and this was a gift that was given to me many, many years ago. Believe it or not, I used to be a dance teacher, and this was a gift from one of my dance students. And sadly, I mean, that's been at least 20 years ago. I can't remember the student's name, but every time I pull it out, it just warms my heart and I get kind of nostalgic. And it made me start thinking, like, I remember when I was growing up, like, we always had a Christmas pin that we would put on our coat. Mom would get them from Avon, or someone would make them and give them to us. And one of my favorites, and I don't have it anymore, it makes me very sad. I don't know what happened to it. One of my mom's friends crocheted, and she crocheted, it was a little green wreath, and she just tied a little red bow on it, put a little safety pin on the back. And I always wore that on my coat every year. I would wear that. I'd switch out my pins because after a while I had quite a collection. And so that made me start thinking. I was like, well, I really enjoy Christmas pins, and thought, what are some other, how could I recreate that little wreath? Because I don't have any real crochet skills at all. I admire those who can do it. I love watching the creations that people make, but it's just not in, I just don't have the talent for it. And it made me think about these books from my youth. These had belonged to my mom. These were Wright's notions and trims used to put these out. They were called the Idea Book of Trims, with easy to follow instructions. Check out some of these pictures. All the different ways to use the Wright's trim. And then here's another one. You can see the aprons, bed covers, skirts. These are all from, the early 70s. And then it made me, I remember this one. The Christmas Idea Book. So making aprons, what are else on here? Stockings, how to make cards, how to make stuffed animals. So I thought what I would do is give you a little flip through of the Christmas Idea Book, and then we will make, I have an idea on how to recreate the little wreath pin. So I thought we would do that together today. So here we go. The Christmas Idea Book of Trims by Wright from, let me see if the date's on here. I think this was from 1973, 74. So let's open first. Here we go. And of course you have pictures for simplicity, patterns, advertising simplicity. These are really cute. These are decorating picture frames and then using rickrack to make little pom-poms and different flowers. I think they call them chrysanthemums, but they look like daisies to me. Using some of the flower trim to put around pictures. Wouldn't that be cute to use, to do this idea for like Christmas ornaments? Wouldn't that be sweet with pictures of your kids or your grandkids? And this is just really a pretty wall hanging. And then here are some more Christmas ideas. Look at that. These are all just basic styrofoam balls right here. And they made rickrack rosebuds. Let's see what else we have in here. And these are gift ideas. And if you love a satin pillow, look how pretty these are. And using beautiful trim to trim and tassels to trim out your satin pillows. How to make covered journals, which I do. This one is basically covered with felt and trim, and it's all glued on. How to make flowers. You could make your own fabric poinsettias. Wouldn't that be pretty? Let's see what else we have. Oh, here we go. The owl kind of scares me. The owl and the kitty cat, and just made, these are all tassels, and the owl is basically pom-poms. Then it gives some instructions, and I do like their instructions. They're very detailed. and they give picture examples for you to follow along. So that's one of the great things about these books. They really put a lot of time and effort into them. Here we go. We got some stockings and wall hangings and candles. That's kind of cute. Not sure I'd choose these colors, but I do like the idea of the candles. And some more wall hangings. An advent calendar. This is adorable. If you have a grandchild or a child, how to make a tent out of a table for them. Little flowers up the side, all done out of rickrack and pom-poms. It's adorable. I wish that was in color. And, well, I'm not a fan of clowns, but if you like clowns, there you go. We have a little puppy dog. These are banks. Very cute. Cute ideas. There we go. What else? This is really sweet. These are different ideas for Christmas ornaments and making Christmas cards. Definitely have a 70s feel to them though, don't they? And here are some more. There's a wall hanging. Oh, this is for holding your napkins at your tables and then doing the little napkin rings and napkins and place cards so you can have a festive table setting. And then we have more Christmas decorations and little cards. I like the little Christmas tree idea. Look at that. Using the rickrack and sequin. How cute is that in this poinsettia up here? That's adorable. I love that. There we go. And then we have a whole section of, like I said, instructions. Today we are going to make the wreath and a couple other things I want to show you. We're going to be doing this technique with the rickrack. So you can kind of see what you do with it. You fold it all together. And then you can either glue or sew these together. I have a rose made and I'll show it to you. I made a little pin. How to make flowers, how to make ladybugs, how to make little violets. Those are cute. Oh, and look, if you love to sew, look at these. So a little needle book made out of a piece of trim. And this has a little pin cushion on one side. And on the other end of it, you have your scissors. And then, of course, another pin cushion. Very sweet ideas if you have a sewer in your life or for yourself. Oh, here we go. Here's some 70s fashion for you. There we go. Long skirts. I remember wearing long skirts for Christmas and Easter when I was a child. And my mom made most of my clothes. Now, I never had this kind of detail on mine. I did occasionally have some pom-poms on my clothes, though. Now, I do like these aprons. These are cute. This one in particular is made out of clear vinyl, and it has the 1/4-inch biased, double fold bias tape all the way around it. But if you paint or do something that's particularly messy, that's a great idea. I really like this one with all the different patchwork, because you know me, I love patchwork. Isn't that cute? Those would make nice gifts. You know, if you have someone who loves to cook, craft, paint, or you could even make them in children's sizes. This would be really great if you have a child that loves to paint and craft and you don't want them to get their clothes messed up. That would be adorable. Oh, here's some more aprons. Now, these are more what they would refer to as hostess aprons. You didn't wear them when you cooked, but you would wear them when you served, and usually they would coordinate with your outfit. So these are very, very pretty. I actually like them. My favorite, I like the blue. Although I think this pink one might be my favorite. Oh, these are pretty. Look at the snowflakes. Isn't that beautiful? And to help them hold their shape, I read the instructions. They have little pipe cleaners behind them. So those are all cut and then glued onto the pipe cleaners to make snowflakes to hang. Be pretty ornaments for the Christmas tree. We're just hanging. Oh, here we go. We got jewelry. All made from Notions and Trims. Wright's Notions and Trims. I think this is awesome. done with the satin cording. I think I might want to try that. I think that would be so cool. And this partridge, look, we got a partridge in the pear tree. And then we have some macrame style belts and some more little gift giving ideas. And throws. Oh, luggage holder to keep your luggage closed. And of course, more instructions. So before we get started on making our wreath, let me show you a few things that I've already made. One of the first things I made was this little rose pin. There we go. Which is kind of Christmassy on its own. I mean, it is red and green. But I love this. So it's just a little brooch that you can wear like that. Isn't it pretty? Or you could, if you use fabric ribbon, when you wrap packages, you could actually make some of these and pin them to the front of the package. And then someone would also, they would have a little pin to wear. And then it also looks pretty as a way to decorate your gifts. The other thing I was practicing is I made this. There we go. You could probably also make this into a wreath. If you have, like I have these little pins. This is what I'm going to be using today. That's what I used for the rose. Put that right on the little pin. Add a red bow. You could even add like some little sequins. Glue some sequins on it if you want. Just to make it a little glittery. Look like it has little red balls or holly on it. That would be really cute. So let me show you where I've come so far on the wreath. Now this is just pinned together. I'm going to show you how to braid, I guess it's considered braiding, how to fold the rickrack together so that you can get this shape. You're going to need 20 inches of rickrack. This is a medium size rickrack. You can use large, and the jumbo work really well too. We're going to be using the jumbo as I show you how to braid it together, and then we'll move on. I'll finish this little green one with you today, and then the one I'm going to be braiding is done in ivory, and I'm going to do an ivory wreath and add some green and red to it because I thought that would also be really pretty. So give me a second to change the camera around and we will get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is grab your rickrack. Like I said, this was the medium-sized rickrack. I'm going to be working with the jumbo right now. You're going to measure off 20 inches of your rickrack. Now, it's a good idea because, you know, rickrack does fray. So if you have a lighter, just kind of burn the edges on that real quick because it will keep it from fraying. So let me very carefully, because you don't want it to look singed or burned, but you want to just, here we go, melt those little threads down. There we go. So now we don't have to worry about anything fraying. Okay, so now fold your rickrack in half like this. It's a great idea if you have, I don't have any of my regular sewing clips around, so I'm just going to use a gem clip from my office. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to shift like this and just weave it together a couple of times and then put the gem clip on it. Okay. The other thing you can do, and I will do this quite often too, is grab something that you can, I'm just using my pin like this. There we go. It kind of holds it in, oops. It kind of holds it in place a little bit better if you can, there. Now, I just used a straight pin to hold that gem clip onto what I had available, which happens to be my pin cushion. So here's what you're going to do. You're just going to twist it over like this, and each of those little valleys in the rickrack, it can get a little tangled, so you just have to take your time. And so then it ends up looking like this. And you're going to do that all the way down. So do that and then come back here and we'll move on to the next step. So once you have your rickrack so that it looks like this, there we go, and kind of stretch it out. You're going to be able to make 2 circles with this. So I like to kind of test it out first. So we're going to, there we go. Maybe I'll make that a little bit smaller. And then test to make sure that I have enough. I will have enough to go around. So once you get it where you like it, you like the sides of your circle, you can either use a, needle and thread and stitch it in place, or you can do what I'm going to do. As soon as I have another hot glue gun, here we go. I'm going to just hot glue mine in place. If you're using a hot glue gun, be careful not to burn yourself like I do. There we go. So there, now we have the first part of our wreath. Pull off any extras. There we go. Now, make sure you pull. It will continue to twist on you, so you have to keep pulling it out. So then for the next layer, you're going to go around so that it just slightly extends outside of your first circle. And once you get it in place, either stitch it or glue it. So again, I'm just going to pull out my hot glue. This is going to glue in the back. Oh, let's glue these little ends together. My little ends right here don't want to stick together, so I'm going to hold those in place and then pull it around again. There we go. Just like that. It actually goes into a circle pretty easily, which is nice. It's just hard to hold it straight once you braid it together. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit more glue tabs. Let me get the webbing off my fingers, just so that it holds in place all the way around. So just a couple little dots of glue to hold it in place. And of course, pull off all of, that's the only thing I hate about hot glue guns is the webbing. There we go. Now I have some glue showing, but it's not, you're not going to be able to see it. I got a little messy, so just be careful with it. But I'm going to be putting a bow right up here anyway, so you're not going to see it. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is I forgot I had these. I bought these at Dollar General. They're self-adhesive, but I could hot glue them on to maybe make it look like little hollies and berries. So let's see. Oops, these are hard. You know what? There we go. I might do that. I'm not sure. I don't know if I really want to be sparkly. I might just want it to be very simple. In which case, grab your ribbon. I'm just using some basic thin satin ribbon because this really reminds me of the ribbon and the way it looked, the pin that my mom had got me. It will look very much like this. So I'm going to just trim and then a little hot glue and carefully place my little ribbon. And this reminds me so much of that crocheted pin that I had, and I loved it. Now, for the back, you could do a couple of different things. I was using these pins, and I didn't want the metal to show through, so I just took a little bit of felt and glued that to the inside. Now, what you could do if you don't have these pins is cut a little circle of cardboard, and you could even cut out the center. glue it to that, and then glue on a safety pin. But for me, I think all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on here around the edge like that. Just make sure I place it properly. There we go. And you have yourself a little rickrack pin for Christmas. So there is my pin. I did decide to add one tiny little gem right at the top. So won't that be cute? I think I'm going to put this on my coat and wear it during the holiday season. So I hope you decide to try to make some of these little pins yourself. If I can find a link to maybe some of these crafts, maybe on the Wright's website or something, I will certainly do that. If you have any questions about any of them and you want to know how to make them, just put a comment below. I'm always happy to respond. So thank you again for joining me today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Happy sewing!